It's October in Serbia, and we're leaving our beloved home in Vršac in search of autumn leaves, lakes, mountains, and the most beautiful towns and villages of Serbia. We're doing an 8, 9, 10-day loop around the country, and we will stop at every Spomenik we come across, so I'm going to call this a Spomenik run. If you don't know what a Spomenik is, go back to part 1, Autumn in Slovenia, from last year, and I'll tell you all about it. But you're going to see a lot of Spomeniks. Be excited, be afraid. Welcome to Donja. First Spomenik of the road trip in Donja. It's a monument to fallen fighters. I'm not sure when it was built, but here are some inscriptions. Here's a list of World War II fallen, and for World War I. And it has a little amphitheater here. Welcome to Kњaževac, and here's another Spomenik dedicated to the fallen fighters. So they put up this Spomenik in 1980. I presume they are partisans. Welcome to Azanja. It's a pretty cool looking Spomenik honoring World War I and World War II fallen of Azanja. And behind it, the names of the fallen. This is Pridvorica, and just noticed the Spomenik on the side of a road. Heading now to Topola, one of the main destinations for today. It's said to be one of Serbia's most beautiful towns, and it is famous as the town where the Serbian revolutionary Karađorđe, Black George, was chosen to lead the first Serbian uprising against the Ottoman Empire in 1804. So we're going to take a look at his house and a church where he is buried, along with King Pirot I and other important members of the of Karađorđe's family, and see what's so beautiful about the town. Welcome to Topola. Topola in Serbian means poplar tree. And here's the town's main celebrity, Black George, Karađorđe. So this park is the old fortified Karađorđe town. He built a wall around his house, and the house is now a museum. There were once many structures in this park. They were all part of the walled compound, but only the house and the church, where he was first buried, stand today. I go on like this for 5 minutes. Take a look at some of these pictures taken in Karađorđe's town, and allow me now, with all my wisdom of post-trip clarity, to sum up what's what more succinctly. Karađorđe was a Serbian revolutionary who led the struggle for Serbia's independence from the Ottoman Empire during the first Serbian uprising of 1804 to 1813. Đorđe Petrović was given his nickname Karađorđe, which means Black George in Turkish, by the Turks, due to his dark hair and sinister nature. Ultimately, he was killed per command of Prince Miloš Obrenović I of Serbia, otherwise known as Miloš the Great, a rival rebel leader who led the second Serbian uprising. Yeah, Miloš had Black George axed to death in his sleep in 1817, and his severed head was taken to Belgrade, where it was flayed, stuffed, and sent to the Sultan, and then his head was impaled on a stake and left on public display for a week in Constantinople. The head was repatriated from Greece in 1923 and reunited with the rest of his body, buried in the church in Karađorđe town, and later in the white marble sarcophagus you will see shortly in 1930. If you're interested in the story, do some research. I'm not going to go into it in any more detail, but Black George's murder resulted in a violent, decades-long feud between his descendants and those of Obrenović, with the Serbian throne changing hands several times between the families. So we're heading to the church that King Peter I, the grandson of Karađorđe, built and had Karađorđe's body moved from the church we just saw to this new church. So he's buried there along with many other members of the Karađorđević family, including King Peter I. St. George's Church, also known as the Oplanac Mausoleum, is covered with more than 40 million pieces of colorful glass, 15,000 shades of color. Look at this chandelier. It's made from melted down weapons from World War I soldiers. It weighs 3.5 tons. And it is in the shape of a crown, an upside down crown, to symbolize the loss of the Serbian Empire after the Kosovo War in the 1300s. This Jesus is 9 meters across diameter. That finger is 1.5 meters long. The damage to the mosaics was due to World War II bombs. And here's the tomb of Karađorđe. All these mosaics, Murano glass, are copies of medieval frescoes throughout the Serbian lands. Still in Topola, this is the Stone Bouquet Memorial, 1971. It's a World War II Spomenik. There's 4 heads, and these bushes completely obscure them. If you're beginning to get the idea that a Spomenik is often a Yugoslav communist era monument to those involved with World War II, often abstract, you're on the nose. Jivapi for lunch. All right, so it's goodbye Topola, one of Serbia's most beautiful towns. Welcome to Davidovac and a Spomenik. I think this is the last one today. This is the Monument to Fallen Pilots, 1986. Paraćin, where we'll spend the night. Tonight, for the grand sum of $16, staying at the Knez Petrol Hotel. Yeah, a gas station. Chic. You like it? Yeah. Nice little workspace there. Kitchen, bedroom. Let's check out the view. Money well spent, I'd say. Monastery chicken. And that cheese with paprika that I like so much. A little too dark for an iPhone 8. But this is the Freedom Fountain in Paraćin. Good morning. You know where we're going today?
Kruševac.
Yeah, Kruševac. You know why?
Because of Bogdanović.
Slobodište Memorial Park by Bodan Bodanović. He's my favorite Spomenik artist. You avid followers, no doubt, recall his works. The Stone Flower Monument in Jasenovac, in Croatia, and Čačak, the Popina, the monument some people call the Sniper. That big memorial to Jewish fighters and victims in Belgrade's cemetery. The conical-shaped Spomenik in Vukovar. It just goes on and on. Greatest works. So he created a memorial park in Kruševac. We're going to see some other Spomeniks in Kruševac as well. But I'm most excited about my main man, Bodan Bodanović. We're at the northern edge of Kruševac at IMK 14th of October factory. And there is a Spomenik inside. Glory to work. And we've just asked permission from the guard if we can get in and take a photo. We got in. So this Spomenik is 10 meters tall, metal, and it represents a worker's arm with a clenched fist raised in a proletarian salute. The date this company is named after, October 14th, is the date that Kruševac was liberated during World War II in 1944. Kruševac was the recipient of 2 United Nations awards during the Yugoslav-era for its efforts in peacekeeping actions. And to commemorate these awards, this sculpture was built. Monument to Peace, 1992, put up in the city center. 2 abstract stone hands cradling a stainless steel globe. This is the famous Serbian Prince Lazar who founded Kruševac in the 1300s. They put this up in 1971, and he's portrayed here exactly as he was portrayed on medieval coins. This cube-shaped building back here, that's on the site of the former Hotel Paris, which is where the liberation of Kruševac was declared on October 14th, 1944. So this is the Square of Kosovo Heroes, dedicated to the fighters of the 1389 Battle of Kosovo. And this statue right here in the center was inaugurated by King Peter I, Karađorđević, in 1904. Now you know what a Kuvani Jevrek looks like. If you're selling tractors, it's always good to include a photo of Melania Trump in your advertisements. Everyone knows that. And now what you've all been waiting for, Bodanović's contribution to the city, Slobodište Memorial Park, which was opened in 1965. It's in a state of repair, but this was a memorial house that was put up in 1978. It was built to accommodate a dozen park workers and 2 park historians back when 100,000 people were visiting every year. And last I heard, there was about 1 person working here now. It looks like they're fixing it up. And a sculpture right outside the memorial house. So this park is dedicated to the hundreds of partisan soldiers and civilians that were executed in Kruševac between 1941 and 1944 during the German occupation of Serbia. The civilians were executed thanks to a Europe-wide directive authorizing reprisal killings of 100 civilians for every 1 killed German soldier. And the executions in Kruševac primarily took place on this hill, Bagdala Hill. This is a burial mound behind me. And there's another one over there. They contain the remains of 42 fighters. And now, walking through what is named the Solar Arch. This was built in 1985 to replace the original circular doorway. And now the Valley of the Living. So here there are 12 stone-carved wing-like sculptures. And this Valley of the Living is said to represent the indestructibility of life. These are very comfortable to relax on under the sun. I could lie here all day. And now leaving the Valley of the Living and passing through the Gate of Death, which is also called the Solar Arch. So you probably noticed that Bodanovic's sculptures in this park interact directly with the landscape. You can call it land art. Bodanovic created land art before there was such a movement, which came to life in the late 1960s in the United States. Right at the entrance to the park is a new monument from 2018 dedicated to the fighters who perished during the 1990s wars. It was created by the same guy that created the controversial Eternal Flame monument in Belgrade, the one that was conceived by the wife of Slobodan Milosevic, the one dedicated to the victims of NATO. Well, that's Kruševac. You like it? Where are we going now?
I don't know. Među mountain.
The Serbian Carpathians. We're heading to the Serbian Carpathians. And there is a magic mountain there. Electromagnetism, aliens, pyramid-shaped, all sorts of positive energy. You'll see. I'll see. What do you want? This is Bovansko Lake. So this mountain we're approaching right now, it's Mount Retanj. And the Mayan calendar said the world was ending a few years ago. And during that time, a whole bunch of people went up to the peak, believing that the mountain's energy would protect them. Now you know how to spell Retanj in Serbian Cyrillic. Once upon a time, long ago, a wizard, a wealthy wizard, lived on Retanj mountain in his castle. A castle that ultimately was swallowed by the mountain. And ever since, treasure hunters have been visiting this mountain looking for gold and gems. The peak of Retanj is Šiliak Peak, Vrh in Serbian. 1,560 meters. If I was a younger man, I'd climb it today. So right where the hiking trail begins, Tomicheva Koliba. It's a farm stay. And I read that they have good local food, but they're closed. The season's over. And now to another one of Serbia's most beautiful towns, Knjaževac. Say that.
Knjaževac.
Kњaževac. No, Kњaževac. Kњaževac. Enter Kњaževac. I got a surprise for you.
Please let me know.
A Bodanovic surprise. Monument to the history of the freedom fight. Put it up in 1971. Yeah, it doesn't feel like Serbia, right? Could be Austria. Could be Slovenia. House of Culture, 1981. Gorgusovac was the old name of this town back when the Ottomans were in control. And they built a fortress here. It's called Gorgusovac Tower. It was used to protect the roads. When the town was liberated from the Ottomans, it was turned into a jail. It mainly held the enemies of Alexander Karađorđević. They were tortured here. It became an unpopular place. It was called Serbia's Bastille. After Karađorđević was gone and replaced by Miloš Obrenović, remember the Obrenović family is the traditional enemy of the Karađorđević family, he had this place torn down. And townspeople celebrated. And to honor the prince's decision to destroy the tower, they renamed the town Knjaževac, which means Prince's Town. One last bit of Bodan Bodanovic. I feel like I didn't do it enough justice first time around. And here's what $19 can buy you in Knjaževac. A lovely, fully equipped kitchen, complete with a fireplace. And the bedroom, old-fashioned heater here. And a beautiful toilet. What more could you want for $19? You ready for a day in the Balkan Mountains?
Yeah.
Our backyard here.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's
Go ahead, take what's yours.
the right of the eye.
So today pretty much we're driving around Stara Planina. That's Serbian for old mountain. It's the Balkan Mountains, and it generally begins right around here at the border with Bulgaria and extends into Bulgaria and pretty much divides the country in half. See what's up here, see the villages, the views, lake, maybe find some food. Haven't eaten breakfast yet. Here in the village of Štrbac, a Spomenik for World War I and World War II fallen. This is the Church of the Holy Mother of God. Look at that small door. That's intentional. That's to keep the Turkish troops from riding in on their horses. This dates from the 1300s. And this little medieval church is loaded with frescoes. And there's a woman about to suck on a toe.
No. Dupita, ce faci, mămico?
It's a church dog. village of Donja Kamenica has a Spomenik. This is for World War I. They put it up in 1981. It's Kalna, perhaps a place for breakfast. Definitely a place for stray dogs. Yeah, I was reading they have a stray dog problem here. It's the stray dog capital of Serbia, and the locals frown upon anyone who feeds them. I ordered a preparajolia. It's basically a burger with pounded pepper sprinkled on top. Local too here, Stara Planina. We're here in Pirot, and there's a Spomenik behind these gates in the free zone, and the guard's not letting us get in and take a picture. I also see some mosaics. Monument to Brotherhood and Unity. Here's a view of the factory that won't let us in to photograph the Spomenik. There's a lake about a half hour east of Pirot, driving there now. This is Savoy Lake. It was formed in 1963 thanks to a landslide from the southwestern slope of Stara Planina, which dammed up the river. Later on in 1989, a hydroelectric dam was built. By that dam, the lake is up to 70 meters deep. Gostusha. Had to get on foot to explore this village. The roads are a little too narrow for the FJ. This village, Gostusha, has a lot of houses made of rock. A lot of stone everywhere. The foundations of all the houses, sides of the roads, the road itself. This is a church, St. John the Baptist Church. Locked. There's the head of John the Baptist. And 1938. Let's see what's inside the church. That is beer and rakia. I guess the village is big enough to have 9 people die since 2020. Someone is selling Serbian moonshine, rakia.
Sedite. Može kafa?
You want coffee? Okay, da.
Evo da natočim već.
Hvala. Dobar dan.
Dobar dan.
Odakle ste?
And we got our rakia. It's šljiva, plum. Don't try this at home. Don't drink and drive. Bottoms up.
Kao kad sam popila, nemoj.
Mentol, kopriva I matičnjak.
Well, it's homemade mint juice and it sounds like some other stuff, but no sugar added. It's all natural. It's very good. It's very sweet, very minty. So my original plan after Gostusha was to drive to Niš, where we're going to stay the night. But now with the power of rakia, we're going to drive an hour to a town called Recife. I'm going to say it later when I look it up. But there's a church there, and there's a fresco inside the church of a bald Jesus. And it's worth the hour drive now, especially with the rakia. It really woke me up. Okay, so this is the village's name with the bald Jesus. Vršovci. Vršovci has a Spomenik put up in 1964 and dedicated to the fallen of World War II. Pretty sure this church is going to be closed. They call it the Cave Church, by the way. I think it was built in the 1200s. If it's closed, you can ask a villager for a key. That would require off-roading back to the village and then coming back here, and the sun waits for no man. There it is. It is closed. Yeah, where would you hide a key if you were a villager here? I don't see bald Jesus. I have an idea. Maybe this is a way to call the village people. Open up the church! I'll find a picture online and I'll put it up for you. It's one of a kind. There aren't any other bald Jesuses in the world, as far as I know. So that's Stara Planina. No stop till Niš. Done for the day. This is Ivar. We ordered torljanica, a good cold weather local dish. With leeks and garlic and red pepper, and they didn't have it, and they thought it just made sense to substitute it out for Ivar. And this is Urnebis. It's characteristic of Niš. It's white cheese, kaimak, and hot chili pepper. The meat is just swimming in melted kaimak. The meat is like butter. Good morning. They say the best borek in all of Serbia is in Niš. Bianca hasn't had it yet. I have. You've seen me eat the best borek before in one of the part 3 chapters of the Spomeniks series. You're going to see it again. Also, there's a lot of really cool Spomeniks in Niš. But again, you've seen them. I'll put up a link if you want to go see them again. Heading a half hour south of Niš to another town that is said to be one of the most beautiful towns in Serbia, at least during this time of year. It's Donja Lokošnica, and they are known for red peppers draped all over their houses. Yeah, lots of peppers in this area. It's a pepper field. So the villagers of Donja Lokošnica hang the peppers on their house to dry them. And that's what we're about to see. That is a lot of peppers. They say each household produces a minimum of 3 tons of peppers a year. You can run, but you can't hide. local just told me in broken German, that's our common broken language, this town is the pepper capital of the world. The world. Your mom grows red peppers, right?
Yes.
This giving you any ideas?
Yes, it does.
You gonna tell your mom?
Yeah, she's gonna become the red pepper lady from Siget.
Hey! What's up with the no peppers on this house? Come on. What a little cutie you are. What a cutie you are. The variety of peppers dried here is Nizacha, and they've been doing this for hundreds of years. Villagers don't know when it started, but the rumor is that it came from the Turks long ago. And that's that. Time to look for some Spomeniks. Can you say the name of this town? Prokuplje. And I think this is City Hall. And we're approaching a monument to the fallen fighters, I presume. World War II, probably, 1950s. Bianca for scale. Belolien. This is Monument to the Fallen in Liberation Wars in Belolien. I can't get in. It's completely surrounded by a rusty metal fence. I can't climb it. I have a rotator cuff injury. I'm just gonna have to look at it from here. We went around through some guy's backyard. We're in. Take a closer look. (1941, 1945). And this one says 1912, 1918. And now to Blatze, about 10 minutes away. The citizens of Blatze are obsessed with the plum. It's a very important fruit for the Blatzens. We say Blatzen? Now to Kapaonik. That's a mountain range located in Serbia and Kosovo.
While the mafia provides you drugs.
Brzeće. The 18-meter tall Mramor monument was completed in 1969. It commemorates the Battle of Kapaonik. The Battle of Kapaonik was one of the final major partisan victories here in the Kapaonik Mountains against Chetnik Axis collaborators. It was August 1944. Shortly thereafter, total liberation of Serbia from German, Bulgarian fascist occupiers and their collaborators. Communists for the win! The crypt below holds the remains of 22 partisan fighters. So it just started raining, just in time for an hours-long drive through Kapaonik National Park. Are you hiding? She's chasing the rainbow. Elevation now 5,969 feet. This rock is called Orlove Stene, Eagle Rock. In the middle of the 1400s, during the time of the Ottoman Empire's final conquest of Old Serbia, a new marketplace was being built, and the Turks called it Yeni Pazar. Fast forward to today, Novi Pazar. New, Novi in Serbian, and Pazar, bazaar in Turkish. That's the city we're going to, the center of Bosniaks in Serbia. And we're gonna stay there 2 nights. So here's what $18 can get you in Novi Pazar. Novi Pazar is around 86% Muslim. And I must say, it reminds me a little bit of Turkey. I'm seeing some familiar foods and dress and words. Bosniak is basically Serbian and Croatian language, but they do borrow a lot of Turkish words, and Persian, and Arabic. A specialty of Novi Pazar is, surprise, cevapi, like everywhere in Serbia. But this is the best. The waiter says this is the best. I bought Turkish jeans. Fridays and Saturday nights at 8 o'clock, they shut down the main street to traffic. So the locals could just, walk up and down, do circles, as one of them said, all night.